is for entertainment purposes only, not to be taken as legal advice. Welcome back, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Oh, the week has gone by so fast, but I'm glad that you're all here with me today. We have an exciting topic of conversation that we're going to be discussing today. And if you read the title to this video, it's a big one. It honestly is. They laughed until I discharged my mortgage. We're going to talk about discharging the mortgage today. It's actually not that difficult. Not that difficult. Done it for a lot of individuals. And I think as long as you get the big picture about how you're supposed to discharge it. I talked to some individuals during consultations, like for an hour, and like these individuals going through foreclosure, or Paul Michael, I can't pay my mortgage this month, or Paul Michael, we just had a family emergency or problem. I lost my job. You know how many people buy a house with a certain amount of income that they work with the company, then they lose the job at that company, and then they try to transfer with an equivalent, pay structure and position, and then the salary is greatly decreased. So what do you do if you owe all this money on your mortgage and you can't pay it? My solution: discharge it. Get rid of it in the first place. And we're going to go step by step into that today. So it'll be an exciting topic of conversation. I want to welcome everybody. Before we get into that, I want to go through some exciting updates throughout here at the Academy. Wow, a lot of masterclass members, and a lot of people joining our courses, as well as getting used to our new LMS platform. I wanted to share with you about Masterclass, and I want to clear up some questions. I want to go ahead and clear up some questions about Masterclass that a lot of people have been asking. Well, first of all, Masterclass is a great ability for you to get access to our learning management system, our LMS system. We partnered with the best LMS system in the world. There's nothing greater. Even the universities use them as well. And what I love about Masterclass is it gets you access to all the back end. We invested a lot with this partnership to give you modules, lesson plans, study material, group capabilities, profiles, and customer service agents, tech support, educational counselors. We have new individuals that are coming to the Academy to be instructors that will be instructing along with Ryan. I mean, it's about to get very busy. I love it. And a lot is changing and going on. But I want to make it clear, Masterclass is a membership that gets you access to everything in the back end. Okay, it's like your software, right? It's the supporting system so that you can get access to all the classes and courses that you're already enrolled in. Now, one of the things I was so passionate about when I started learning about this truth movement is I wanted the basics, the absolute basics for everybody to learn, no matter where you come from. So I included, as part of Masterclass memberships, we have 4 total courses here at the Academy, which is Freshman Sovereignty 101, Sophomore Become Private, which is you learn how to step out of the public and establish your affairs in the private. Then there's Operate Privately, which is mastering how to manage a private business, association, or trust without relying on the public system. And then we have our very popular class, Unlimited Credit, how you can access your unlimited credit through trade lines, high limit credit cards, and through the credit bureaus, and so much more. I love these 4 courses. It's the foundation if you are just getting into this movement of everything that you need. And I'm really excited about the program we put together. So as part of the Masterclass membership, we're giving everybody Sovereignty 101, the freshman year, because you need the foundations of sovereignty, your legal identity, and how the system views you. This is a way for me to show you guys the standard and the level of education that we have here at Creditor Academy. We have instructional designers, instructors with master's degrees that are teaching these courses. Not myself, I'm an exception. We also have customer support for each one of them, but also we give you a cohort to go along with your learning at. And then when you go through freshman year and you're ready to go to sophomore year, there is a separate tuition for that. There's a separate tuition. So then you pay the tuition for sophomore year, just like regular school. Then you pay tuition for junior. Then you pay tuition for senior year. But Masterclass allows you to get access to the entire platform for all the courses that you are enrolled in. So I wanted to make that clear, just kind of going off because I was getting a lot of questions as it relates to that. But these are really great courses. I love it. I put my blood, sweat, and tears into this, and I'm excited to show it off to all of you. Okay, so now let's get into today's topic of conversation. I actually covered a subject, a really great subject in Sovereignty 101 just yesterday. And I was like, wow, you know, this course and what I talked about in Sovereignty 101 was so powerful because it aligns perfectly for the mortgages. So let me share with you how you discharge the mortgage. I will go step by step, but I need you to get the full picture of how you get to that point in the first place. So let me go ahead and share my screen with this. Okay, so yesterday we went over lesson plan 6 in Sovereignty 101. Each time you come into a course, I always share the lesson plan. I have a PowerPoint. I have a video presentation. I have questions and answers. And I have case studies and scenarios that I teach inside of the class. But this was about the foundations of sovereignty in the hierarchical order. This lesson reveals the true source of power in America, you, the individual. It breaks down the concept of sovereignty, showing how authority flows from God to the people, then to the states and government, never the other way around. You'll also discover the key differences between a natural person's legal and artificial entity and why that matters in asserting your lawful position. Now, this is great because when we go through this course, I go over the learning objectives. We're going to define sovereignty in the context of both natural law, constitutional law. I'm going to illustrate the hierarchy of sovereign relationships. That's what we're going to be reviewing today. So do the mortgage discharge. We distinguish between natural persons, artificial entities. We explain why sovereignty cannot be derived from subordinates. Subordinates, an important term we're going to cover. We're going to analyze early constitutional rulings affirming individual sovereignty. I'm not going to cover all this today. I'm just going to cover the parts that pertain to the mortgage discharge. But if you want to learn about all the things that we cover inside of this course live with me, Monday through Friday, we have classes for Sovereignty 101, and we go in congruent lesson plans. But if you want to enroll in Sovereignty 101 and to get this much detail and more, you can go to www.creditoracademy.com. Now, let me go over this part. One moment. Okay. So I want to just cover right here, the hierarchical structure of sovereignty. Okay. The legal and logical order of creation determines the structure of sovereignty. The hierarchy of sovereignty, as outlined in foundational texts and legal cases, is as follows. This is what you really need to have as a big takeaway. If you're in this movement, you need to understand where you're at in the hierarchical pecking order. It's almost like the jungle. It's like the kingdom. It's like the lion. He's the king of the jungle, right? The king of the jungle, the lion, is God, the creator of all things, including mankind. So you need to know that God is the king of the jungle. Now, the only next question is where do you come in the pecking order of the hierarchy of the jungle and in nature? Well, second to God is his creation, and that is we, the people, the natural persons who are created by God. Then, through the Constitution, we created the states. By the people created the states. And each state has their own individual constitution. Then the states created the federal government. Okay? And then the federal government created artificial entities. What are artificial entities? These are corporations, statutory citizens, federal states, and the like. You see, in order to even get your head around discharging a mortgage or student loans or or credit card debt or removing bankruptcies, whatever it is, you need to first understand the hierarchical structure of sovereignty. This is the absolute basics. And because people miss the basics, they don't get to discharge ever because they don't know their position. Right now, all of these subsequent is called subordinates. One is a subordinate to each other. So, for example, the federal government exists only because the state chose to create it, and it operates under the authority delegated by the Constitution. It follows that a creation can never be superior to its creator, a foundational doctrine of both law and reason. That was beautifully said, law and reason. Right now, you are a subordinate to the lowest life form in the jungle. You're an artificial entity. You're like the warthog of the jungle. Every lion's going to get you. Even the mosquitoes get you, they hop on your back. So what we need to do is we need to identify how we got ourselves into an artificial entity and how do we bring ourselves back up to a natural person created by God. First, you need an artificial entity is the Sister KV Trust. It's the birth certificate that was signed into your servitude in slavery. And the birth certificate was a creation of the federal government in order to make you what? A statutory citizen, a federal state. A federal state. See, how could you even get to the position of discharging a mortgage or anything for that matter if you are a lower life form than the federal government? You can't. This is why become private is so important. This is why we file the secured party creditor documentation. This is why we complete your status correction with precision. This is why we acquire your private ID and badge, and so then you can exit the public system and operate under private authority. That private authority is being a God-given natural person created by God. So that's the first step. You need to know where you are in the hierarchy, and you need to at least recognize that what position you need to get into in order for you to get to this kind of debt discharge. We need to get you to be recognized as a natural person created by God. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Is this flowing for you?
Yes, makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so we're going to get you there. We're going to get you there. That's why become private is so important. Okay, so now we do that. So then we do the status correction. I mean, it's a very simple process. It doesn't take, really, it takes about a week to get the paperwork together. It's not too in-depth. It's not too complicated. You fill out here and fill out there. But the next thing is if you're able to now get the paperwork done, now the question becomes, Paul Michael, now how do I utilize it? And how does this relate to mortgage? And hey, Paul Michael, that's great. I got the status correction and I'm in the right hierarchical order. But I did sign a contract when I was a statutory citizen. And this contract with my mortgage is super binding. How is it that I can discharge something when, according to contract law, I'm really bound by the contract that I signed with the mortgage? To discharge is just to use your credits. You got to use your credits for your mortgage. You got to really learn how to use your credits for everything. In order to operate in the private is to know how to operate with entities and credits in accordance to all the things that you want to accomplish. I used the example of the casino last time. Oh, I love the casino. I talked about the Charizard of entities, which is a business trust. I would say the Blastoise is a private membership association. So powerful, so powerful. But we need to figure out, okay, how do I set up my environment around me now that I'm private? How do I set up now my entities and set them up for discharge? You need to now not make yourself private, but now you need to make your entity, your assets that you own private as well. And this is why the next part of the academy is operate privately. If you want to get to debt discharge, you have to put your asset, your mortgage, into a trust. You have to separate the liability from you first before you can even have a conversation with the lender. And you can get to that. All that is just taking the asset and just saying, you know what? I'm not personally responsible for this property anymore. Now this entity is going to go ahead and take control of it. And now you notify the lender and you say, hey, lender, this business trust is now going to pay you for the mortgage contract. That's how I get you out of that contract you signed. I remove you entirely from the situation. Now the entity has the contract and you are just the trustee that signed on behalf of the entity. Now I got you some wiggle room. You see how this is working? You see how I'm separating the layers here? So now you become private. Now your property that you're going to discharge is in the private, and we put it inside of a business trust. Now, one of the great things about business trust, I love business trust. You get no capital gains tax. You can transfer the party at any time. You can really maximize your depreciation. You can give it to your heirs really simply. You can really lower income tax or totally avoid it in general. So a lot of benefits to it. So you have a really good vehicle that even you yourself couldn't get those advantages. So this is where a lot of case law is in your favor. The case law I'm referring to is American jurisprudence, the case law on business trust. I read this all the time. This is like my Bible, so to speak. Okay, now let's get to the big part. Okay, let's talk about actually discharging the mortgage. You need access to your unlimited credits, period, bar none. That's why the SPC is so important. It is removing the Sister KV trust that you contracted under and replacing it with the private trust so then you can utilize your bonds. Now, this is where everybody gets lost. Everybody and their mama, when I would have a consultation, they would say, Paul Michael, I know what you're going to say next. We're into the bond section right now. And they get the bond, that $100 million bond that they post at the Treasury Department, they hear everybody talking about. That is what is distracting you and having you focused on the wrong thing rather than the surefire way of discharging the mortgage. It seems logical that, we're in a debt system and this is debt. Why don't I utilize bonds to, according to HJR 192, go ahead and discharge the debt of the mortgage to do that? The issue is not you. The issue is not the bond itself or utilizing a negotiable instrument to draw the credits from the bond to do discharge. It's the person receiving it on the other end because they don't want to accept it a lot of times. And the reason why they don't want to accept it is not because you did anything inherently wrong. I've met so many people that do administrative processes. I got one guy, he sent me 150 pages of administrative process. And I looked over it for a debt discharge of his property. He was so smart, smarter than I could ever hope to be. He's been doing this for 30 years. And I had advisors look at his administrative process. And honestly, we had no corrections. We had no correct. I said, this is a solid administrative process, man. It was so thorough. You got the courts involved. You put everybody on notice. You're doing your cap method. You're doing your certificate of default. You did a notary protest on top of it. But he was calling me because he was still going through foreclosure. So what is it? Is it a case of, oh, Paul Michael, you know, sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some, sometimes they listen, sometimes they don't? No. You got the vision wrong. If you don't see the vision of how to discharge all your debts in the first place, you could be swayed in the wrong direction over and over. And that's what I feel like the gurus have done. They have focused you so much on this $100 million bond as your God and Savior that you totally bypassed the easy way to do mortgage discharge because the easy way just goes against this narrative. If you can change your thinking on what credits really are, you'll never have a credit problem ever again. I say you'll never have a credit problem because at Creditor Academy, there's not one individual that has money problems. They only have credit problems. Okay. When I get the bill from my mortgage, right, that's being held inside the trust, what do I pay my mortgage bill with? Let me tell you, I got a lot. Okay. Every single time my mortgage bill comes to my front door, I do not pay with the cash that is inside of the bank account. I pay with the credit that I have access to. I can do it through two different entities. One, I can pay with the credit that I utilized to build the business trust that acquired the property in the first place, which I don't usually do. I mean, I use it to get the property, but I don't use that to pay it off. But the second thing is to use another entity that has access to high levels of credit, like 200,000, 300,000, and use that to now pay the mortgage. Now you separated the whole game. Now this entity, this fictional entity, this entity I created last week or a couple months ago that I've been building trade lines and credit on, in a very short period of time, got hundreds of thousands of dollars on it, can now, as a business decision, utilize that credit to pay off this. What happens if this can't pay it back? Oh, well, throw it. Who cares? It's just a piece of paper. It's not federally recognized. It's federally recognized, but not state registered. It's just an entity that I control. And the reason why I treat it that way is because of this. It's because I understand the hierarchy. I'm the natural person created by God. This is just a piece of paper that I created. If I tell my entity, hey, listen, all that credit you built up, All that stuff you were planning on wanting to spend it on, guess what? We're going to spend it on this now. We're going to spend it on a mortgage. I don't want to do that. Doesn't matter how you feel. And really, I'm just talking to myself, right? I'm just like sitting there like, what are you going to do about it? I don't know. What are you going to do about it? What are you going to make me do about it? I don't know. I'm the actual person. I'm the only one in the room. Me, myself, and I, all three of us. But you're not an artificial entity. Remember, the authority is delegated by the Constitution, and it follows that the creation can never be superior to its creator. It's a foundational doctrine in both law and reason. You need to be reasonable about your unlimited credits. If you can really build unlimited credits on entities, then just pay the mortgage. Use different entities to put. What do you care? You built 200,000 off of it in just a couple months. Use the available credit that you have. What you think when I get these bills, they say, well, you don't accept credit cards to pay for your mortgage. Yeah, get out of town, man. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. And then what do I do with my taxes? I just say, oh, I have a loss or an investment opportunity or whatnot. You know, it's just part of business. I'd maybe try to use the property as a rental, and make some extra money, maybe try to pay this back. But my goal is to not pay that large interest rate. That interest rate kills you. Oh my gosh. I was looking at a new office building. We're purchasing another office building in India. $230,000. Went to the bank to go get a business loan at 6%. So I was going to do a 30-year loan. That was going to be $800 a month. Pretty good. But at a 6% interest rate, that increases it to $1,200 a month. I was like, what the? Huh? What? That interest rate is killing me. It's too high. Interest is what you need to get out of. And the best way to get out of interest is to pay off your loan as soon as possible and get to own the property. You can create all these different entities to help you do that. You can help them do that. It's like Super Smash Bros. I used that example last time. It's like getting Captain Falcon and Fox and Pikachu and Jigglypuff and Samus. And these are your entities, and they go to war for you. And he said, and it's just a big chessboard. It's just a big chessboard. So that's how you deal with it. And really, when I have consultations, people ask me now the next following thing naturally, which is what? Paul Michael, I don't have access to credit. I'm in a ton of debt. I don't have the ability to just grab a credit card off of the shelf from any organization to even begin to do that process. So what becomes my first step? My first step really is to, as I say with everybody at the Academy, is let's focus on remedy first. Let's discharge all the stuff out from the credit bureaus that's negatively affecting your credit and all the debt that's on there. And there's case law to support that, and we can remove it. And you have a fresh start. Let's start there. And even if you're in the position still in the hierarchy as an artificial entity, a statutory state citizen, still deep down in the flesh that I'm looking at on my screen, you are the natural person still. You're the natural person. So let's utilize that to our advantage, because when you communicate to these bureaus that you're the natural living person and you want these things removed, which there are great strategies to do, they have all bark and no bite. They bend over immediately. So we utilize that to the advantage to give you that fresh start on your personal credit, so then you can start getting access to credit, so then you can do what is most important in your life. there's three things. You need a roof over your head. You need food on the table. And you need to be safe. You need to be safe. You need to be in a safe environment. If you don't have those three things for your family, then there's no point than joining courses at Creditor Academy. Listen, I'm here to tell you the decision that you make to join our organization needs to be right for you. I'm going to be okay. Whether you pay for our organization or not, I'm going to be just fine. This is not about me. This is about you. What do you want to do to fix yourself and get out of this hierarchy and get yourself in the natural personal position? Something to think about. Something to think about. So, dealing with mortgages, dealing with bankruptcies, dealing with credit card debts, dealing with student loans, and so much more that's negatively affecting you on your credit report can be remedied. If you want to request this service from us, you can go to www.creditoracademy.com and you can fill out the contact us form. It's at the very top, contact, name, email address, phone number, and say, I need remedy now. And let's start there. Let's start off getting you and your family in a position to where you don't have this stress and anxiety about where you're going to live or how you're going to put food on the table. Because you can't concentrate on this truth movement if you're in moments of desperation. You can't. And you shouldn't either. You really shouldn't. So if you're just looking for channels where you could get the remedy, we would love to help you. We helped so many people. We have discharged millions. I feel like it's millions now because some of you got a lot of debt. I was talking to someone the other day. I have 300,000, Paul Michael. Well, that's no big deal. But yeah, there's a lot of people that got absolutely a lot. And we'll tell you, we'll give you a whole step-by-step too. We're excited for that. And for everybody else, same thing for you. You're all equally important. And I know that this information is life-changing and you guys want to get started. We've been so blessed to see how many people have joined our organization since we started the master class in the LMS system. Not to say that we're not without our faults. We're not without our faults, but I can assure you, we will get this taken care of, and every single one of you is important to us. So we want to remedy that. Thank you, Al, for bringing that.
I just want to tell Al, it took a while for me to get my ID, but they made it right, and it came out perfect. So just give them some time. If I know Paul Michael, he'll work it out with you.
Yeah, absolutely. I need more customer service. No, I appreciate you, my friend. So, what I'll do is I'll drop you my personal email and I'll get you taken care of. Wow. Amazing. Amazing. No problem. Okay. Well, I'm live on YouTube. I love answering questions on customer service. I always knew that would be every time I'm live on YouTube. I know there's going to be something about the organization and something that needs to get done. And
it's okay. You always take care of it, though, Michael. You really do. You follow up.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. So I'm excited, though. I'm excited. And I'm excited for the many success that people are going to have here. For everybody on YouTube that has been visiting us today, if you'd like to get started with Creditor Academy and be a part of our masterclass membership and get involved with our courses, you can by going to creditoracademy.com and registering under our masterclass. And then you can also reach out to an educational counselor. So if you want to get into what Al was talking about, which is the Become Private sophomore year, all you have to do is click Learn More. And then you hit I agree and hit book an appointment with a counselor. And we will guide you. We will guide you into the academy. Until next time, everybody on YouTube, if you have not subscribed, hit that subscribe and notification bell. And I look forward to seeing you all this coming Thursday for our next live. Until then, take care of yourselves and your loved ones. Bye, everybody. Bye-bye. 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 And it's the after hours. Amazing. Amazing. Oh, that's a safe coin. Chris Ross, let's go to you.